After Padre Island, I headed off to Galveston, Texas. There were two things I wanted to see in Galveston. I had been assured that the beaches in Galveston were nowhere near as nice as the beach on Padre Island. I wanted to see for myself. I believed the people who were telling me this, but I was curious to see just how big the difference was. And I wanted to see a cruise ship live and in person. I had seen them kind of at a distance years and years ago when I went to California. My outlaws had a family vacation and I was fortunate enough to go along. But I had not personally been up close to one. And I have several friends and now some family members who have gone on cruise. So I wanted to see what one of the ships looked like near and up close. But if you look at the top of that ship, you can see the curlicue slide on the far left side. I would love to go south on that road if I'm allowed to. I think I'm allowed to. Look at this thing. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So this first ship we drive past here is the Carnival Vista. I didn't catch which year it was made, but it is 1,055 feet long, so it has a passenger capacity of 3,900 plus passengers and requires 1,400 plus crew members. Here you can see the Carnival Breeze. Note the water slide on the top deck. The Carnival Breeze was built in 2012. It is 1,003 feet long. Holds 3,600 plus passengers with 1,300 plus crew. Next, I headed off to find a public Galveston Beach to see what the difference was. The first thing to note was that if you drive down to Padre Island, it's real simple to find the beach. South Beach is one that you can park on for the night, but there are several other beaches along Padre Island, all accessible to the public. It's a protected wildlife area, protected seashore area. The Galveston beaches, however, many of them are privately held, so you have to go along until you find a public access to the beach. So I did find one, and the first thing I noticed is that the parking lot is, on the inland side of the dune, then you have to cross over the dune to get to the beach itself. And that's really the way that you want a beach to be for the protection of the beach itself. But it was a pretty lengthy haul to get over that particular dune and out to the beach itself, and you can kind of see that in these images here. My favorite thing about any beach area that I go to are the houses. I love seeing the houses up on the stilts. So I wanted to give you guys a good surround view here. Once I got onto the beach itself, it's kind of a standard public beach in that everybody and their neighbor is out there. They're enjoying the water and their music and their food, and the beach itself is kind of gritty. A lot more broken seashell. I'm not sure what was up with Padre Island, had no seashells. I did talk to one of the park rangers at the information station on Padre Island, and he said it comes and goes. Some years they have a lot of it, and some years they have next to none. And this year they have next to none, but here in Galveston there were a lot of broken shell remains. So I'm not sure what drives that. I don't know enough about marine biology to explain why one beach along the Gulf of Mexico would have no shells and a different beach along the Gulf of Mexico would have lots of broken shells. I would say that definitely if you have a choice between a Galveston beach or a Padre Island beach, the Padre Island beach was much nicer, and you can park right down on it. It was just in every way nicer. These are fine. I'm sure if you got a Verbo or something right here along the beach, you would be fine. It's just the public areas tend to have more heavy use, and it shows. As for the water, maybe the water is grosser, but all ocean water is kind of gross. So I didn't swim in either one. I just put my toes in both, rightly so, because, hey, still a beach, But yeah, you might prefer to swim off Padre Island. I really couldn't speak to the water quality because, like I said, other than dipping my toes in, I didn't really go for a swim at either one. Soon it was time to head out of Galveston and continue making my way over to Louisiana. The route that I chose to take was the Galveston Boulevard Ferry. It links Galveston Island and the Boulevard Peninsula on Highway 87. The line to get on the ferry on 87, it takes a considerable amount of time, as you might imagine, because it's part of the freeway, essentially. But you have to stop, load the boat. Boat has to go across. There's a second boat in operation right now during peak daylight hours. But even then, at 2 boats, that 2-mile crossing is a lot slower than a whole pile of cars just zooming along at 70 or 80 or 90. So you do have to wait in line for a bit. But I loved the wait in line because the whole wait in line is lined with palm trees. And I'm from up north. We have pine trees and oak trees and maple trees and pawpaw trees if you're in Ohio. But palm trees, not so much. That's like, you gotta be south to get palm trees. And so, south or on the coast, California, to get palm trees. So it's still exciting to me. I realize if you're from the south or you're, native to those areas, that a palm tree to you is just this nuisance plant that's kind of ugly in the winter. But to me, they're amazing because I've never really spent any time around them. So I think they're just the coolest thing. And what was really neat on this drive is that I got a chance to really look at them, to really look at the bark and the branches and the top part where the greenery is. Leaves. Yeah. And they're all so different. I saw at least 3 different kinds. There's one that looks like it would be easy to climb because it looks like little stair steps all over the trunk. There's another one that's practically smooth, all up and down. And then there was a third kind that looks like it's been just shedding leaves for the whole length of its growth cycle. And like you wouldn't want to climb it because you might get like tree rash climbing that. It's just really neat to me. And so I was thrilled that this whole entranceway was just lined, I should say, in palm trees. There was also a little bit of art. You got to see a couple of these different dolphin statues. This is the only one I got a good photo of, but there were many different ones along the approach. And then this really lovely bush, I guess, tree thing covered in pink flowers. I'm obviously not a flowers person, but it was lovely, and I was grateful to see it. This is a free car ferry to all travelers, 24 hours a day, that the Texas Department of Transportation has been operating since 1934. The trip covers about 2.7 miles on the water and takes about 18 minutes. Each ferry carries approximately 70 vehicles. The first one I took was over 20 years ago. It is a way to cross Lake Michigan from Ludington, Michigan to Manitowoc, Wisconsin. It is a 4-hour, 60-mile cruise. That one holds 620 passengers. It was quite a fun ride. It's called the SS Badger, and I very much enjoyed sailing on the Badger. I'll save that story for another time. So I was very excited at the prospect of getting to take another car ferry, particularly a free one, because the one across Lake Michigan actually cost some coin. I don't remember how much.